Morning.
Hi, my microphone's not on yet. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
How's your move going?
It's pretty good. Today's kind of the prepare to put everything in order to get the trucks tomorrow. So.
And you guys do it yourself?
We have the last 2 times, so I mean this time we are, and then last time we did. I don't know if we'll do it again, but we'll see.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
To do it yourself. All right. So do you have any requests today?
I'm gonna have to actually head out early, so.
Okay. How's your personal practice going? Are you doing?
I actually haven't had much time to do it because I'm too busy doing all of your other stuff. But I should have done it yesterday because I feel really stiff today, so I should have done it yesterday on Sunday.
I mean, you're coming to all of these classes, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, plenty.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. So we'll go ahead and start. We're going to start seated today. I won't sit for super long. But I just invite you to find your comfortable seat, and kneel or cross-legged, whatever feels best in your body this morning. And just close your eyes and just start to check in. Notice how you if you can connect with your breath and start to lengthen your breath. And invite it down into your belly. So you can make your inhale and your exhale of equal length. And ground and relax through your legs. Lengthen up through your spine. And soften through your face and your jaw. And start to tune into your sense of hearing. Just notice the sounds that you can hear farthest away from you. Be outside of your house, even. Be aware of birds greeting the morning. Just narrow that awareness to the rooms next to you. Notice the sounds of vents or appliances or other people awake. And narrow that into the immediate space that you're in. See what even subtle sounds that you can perceive with your ears. Maybe buzzing of lights or your computer. And then narrow that awareness of your hearing to your immediate body. Notice if you can sense the sound of your breath, that vibration of your breathing, or even your heartbeat. And bring your awareness to your sense of touch. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin, the feeling of fabric on your body, the pressure of your blanket or mat or cushion or block underneath your sitting bones, on your legs. Just bring awareness to your eyes and the quality of the light that you can perceive even with closed eyelids. And with this real close awareness of your senses and your body, see if you can bring your awareness inside and just gauge the quality of the energy in your body. You feel awake or sleepy or alive. Just check in at the beginning of practice, and we'll return to this at the end, and you'll be able to see the difference. But I just invite you now to ask yourself what it is that you need from your practice today. What is it that you're here for? Maybe focus or energy. Maybe a time just to tune in. Maybe you want to cultivate a sense of peace or calm or vibrance. See if you can just whittle it down to one word. And let that one word be the mantra that's connected to the next few breaths as you inhale and exhale. Just breathe with that word, your intention for this practice today. You can keep your eyes closed or go ahead and open them softly, and we'll just take a big breath in, reach hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Just follow that breath, inhaling, reaching high, exhaling, hands to your heart. Just one more, inhale, reach high. And then exhale, just twist to your right, bring your left hand outside your right knee. And look over your back shoulder, look over your front shoulder. Start to warm up through your neck. Over your back shoulder, over your front shoulder. One more time, back and forward. And then just look straight out past that right knee. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder, front ear to front shoulder. Keep your ear towards your shoulder, gently dial your chin down, and then find some little nods there. And then you can unwind your head, Unwind your body. Just switch the cross of your legs. Take a big breath in, reach your arms high. And then exhale to twist over to your left. Right hand outside that left knee. Look over your back shoulder. Look over your front shoulder. And just keep moving there pretty slowly. Look over your back shoulder. Look over your front shoulder, and then just square your chin off with your shoulders. Looking out past that left knee, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And then keep your ear toward your shoulder, just dial your chin toward that right shoulder, and you can find little nods there. And unwind your head, unwind your body. If you're sitting on something, just scoot off of it. We'll make our way onto our backs. Just set yourself up for a bridge. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And just kind of lay down. And just start by taking your feet about mat distance apart and windshield wipering your legs from side to side. Just start to get through your hips and really think about dropping your knee down, that one that's internally rotating, and lengthening through that side body. And you can find a place that may feel good to do this with arms overhead. Starting to wake up through your body. And then end that movement. Just hug your knees into your chest for a second. You can rock around a little bit, whatever feels good. And then reach both legs up toward the ceiling, interlace your fingers, push your palms away, and then reach your arms overhead. Try to keep your lower ribs heavy, so maybe your hands won't touch the floor, and that's fine. Find a soft bend in your knees, a soft bend in your elbows, and then as you inhale, push your palms away, push your feet toward the ceiling. So just bend, and then straighten. And just connect this with your breath in a way that makes sense. So here I'm exhaling and inhaling to lengthen. It might make more sense for you to exhale to lengthen and inhale to relax, whichever way. We're just softening knees, softening elbows, and then pushing, really flexing through your feet and your wrists. Let's just do that one more time. And then release your arms, bring your knees back into your chest, your arms out to a T. Drop your knees over to your right just to hover, and then come back to center. And then drop over to your left, back to center. Go back and forth, right and left. And then next time you come over to your right, just let your knees settle all the way down so you're in a big twist. And then with your left arm, just drop that arm down by your left hip and then reach it up alongside your head. See, just a half snow angel here. Just do a circle with that left arm. So you can keep your palm face up and let your fingers stay on the floor as much as possible. And you can move your head here. So as your hand is down, you can turn your head to look to the right. And then as your arm comes up by your ear, you can look back up at the ceiling. And just see if you can rock on your head as you swim your arm up and down here. Just one more. Arm down. Inhale, arm up alongside your ear. Look up. And then just bring your arms out to a T and bring your knees back towards center. and drop them to the left to hover. Come back through center. Drop to the right to hover. Back through center. Left. Center. Right. Center. And then they can come to the left and just rest down. And then you'll find those half circles with your right arm, so that your arm comes down by your hip, and then swim up above your head with your hand on the back of your hand on the floor as much as you can. You swim that arm, and you can add those head rocks. So as your your arm comes down, you can look to the left. And as your arm comes up, you can look up at the ceiling. Just getting into that shoulder and your neck. Just this dynamic movement can just warm through those tissues. Super helpful. So our movement lab last week was working on chaturanga. So we're going to do some of that today before you get the new one for this week. There will definitely be options for not putting weight on your arms. All right, come back out to a T, knees into center, and then just bring your feet to the floor. Let your hands come by your hips. So knees bent, feet on the floor. Just a few rounds of dynamic bridge. Just lift your hips and swim arms overhead. And then lower. And see if you can think of the sequential lifting and lowering of your spine. Sometimes I cue this super slow. You don't have to go super slow, but see if you can still try to lower down one vertebrae at a time and try to lift up one vertebrae at a time. And you'll notice maybe there's parts of your spine that just want to move all in one piece. And the more awareness you bring in, the more you practice, the more available incremental movement will become. And so it's all in the journey. It's not a right or wrong. It's just that we need to keep practicing. It's so good for our brains to just stay connected to all the little parts of our bodies. All right, let's do one more. And then we'll do some hip opening, arms out to a T, and then just reach your right leg up toward the ceiling, flexing through that foot. We're going to drop the right leg out to the right, but keep your left hip down, okay? And just energetically, like you're doing this without using your hand, and then lift it up back to center, and then we're just going to rock over and twist. So this right leg's dropping to the left. You can maybe hold on to your calf or your knee, but just point and flex the foot there a couple times when you get it down. And then let go, lift it back up. Okay, so we're gonna do that a few more times. You can keep your hips down, or you can try doing this in a bridge. Lifting your hips up and dropping that right leg out to the right. Maybe your foot comes all the way to the floor, but you're not rocking, you're just dropping. And then your hips come down and you find your twist. And then just point and flex your foot a couple of times. And then come back up to center. Leave your hips down or lift. And you can drop that right leg out to the right, back to center. Hips down, over to your left. And point and flex your foot. And then come back to center. Let's do one more lift. And then open out to the right, back to center. Drop your hips. And then over to your twist. You can point and flex your foot. Back up to center. Bend your knee and we'll just switch sides. So first round, just do it with your hips on the floor. Lift that left leg up. Arms are out to a T. And then you're going to keep your right hip grounded. Lengthen that left leg out to the left. And then bring it back up. And then you'll drop your L, the whole thing. You'll twist over to your right. You can hold on to that left foot with your right hand if you want. And point and flex your foot a couple of times. And then come back up to center. You keep your hips down, or you can push into that right leg, lift your hips, and then drop your left. This is a totally different experience for me on this side. Over to the side, hips down, find your twist, and point and flex. Back up to center. Draw your shoulder blades together and find your balance. Try to keep your hips as level as possible. Drop your hips, everything over to the right, point and flex. Last round. Lift that hip, try to keep your hips level. Out, up, hips down, roll, into and flex. Back to center. Bend your knee and then come all the way down onto your back. So both of your legs straight. You can let your feet be about hip distance apart. Bring your elbows in alongside your rib cage, okay? And then with all your might, push the backs of your shoulders and your triceps into the floor. And then at the same time, soften your whole rib cage to the floor. So your rib cage is down, okay? Back of your pelvis is on the floor, and then flex through your wrists as much as you can. And then just push those flex wrists up toward the ceiling, reach your arms long. Keep your wrists as flexed as you can. Keep your ribs down and reach your arms overhead. Maybe your fingers will touch the floor, but you're keeping your wrists flexed. Lower ribs down. And then reach up, and then just bend into your elbows. Bring your elbows alongside your rib cage. Keep your wrists flexed. Okay, so lower ribs are down. Just push the ceiling. Keep your wrists flexed. Keep your lower ribs down as you reach your arms overhead. Hands up toward the ceiling and then lower. Okay, let's do that one more time. Push the ceiling away. Lower ribs down as you reach your arms high overhead. Back up toward the ceiling. And then elbows by your rib cage. Lower ribs down and then make a fist with your hands and bend through your wrists here. And stretch. And the same thing, we're just gonna reach our arms up toward the ceiling, but your hands are in fists. And now you're bending your hands forward. Keeping your bend in your wrists, reach your arms overhead and drop those lower ribs down. So your hands may not touch the floor, that's fine. And then reach back up and bend your elbows here. Just do that 2 more times with your fists really fisted and your wrists bending forward. More. And then release that fist. You can roll out your hands, flick your fingers a couple times. We're gonna find that chaturanga shape here on the floor. So your triceps are on the floor. Really flex into your wrists, okay? Your wrists are over your elbows. Elbows are alongside your rib cage. And then with all your might, you're gonna push your triceps and your shoulders into the floor. Drop your lower ribs into the floor, okay? And then just reach your left heel up off the floor a little bit. And then drop it down. And then other heel. And so you're gonna really start pushing your lower back into the floor. And that's okay, we're not worried about our natural curves anymore. We're gonna use the support of our core. So you can feel like you're shortening that space between your lowest ribs. and your pelvis, and just alternate lifting legs. And then lift your right leg, push your lower back down, push your shoulders down, lift your left leg. Maybe lift your head just a tiny bit. Okay. Flex through your feet, push your shoulder blades toward each other, and let your lowest ribs drop toward the floor. So you're just hovering here, and then release that effort, and then reach your arms overhead. Again, drop those lowest ribs to the floor, and just be active through your arms. And if they're up here, so that your low ribs can be on the floor, that's fine. Okay, so we're more into the integrity of our core than we are about opening through the shoulders, because we don't want to take our rib cage with our arms. Okay. Lift your left leg up, push your lower back into the floor, lift your right leg up. And then maybe lift your head, but see if you can stay open through your throat, not tucking through your chin. So we're just hovering, lower back is pushing into the floor. Maybe your head is just floating and your heels are just floating. And then release that. Okay, one last time with your arms alongside your rib cage. Bend into your elbows, flex through your wrists. Okay, really push your triceps down, and then shorten the space between your lowest ribs and your pelvis here. Push your lower back into the floor. But kind of feel like you're, instead of tenting all of these muscles up, see if you can feel like you're kind of spreading out and supporting there. And then hover both legs, both heels up off the floor. Maybe your head just a tiny bit. Draw your shoulder blades together. Push your lower back down. Flex through your wrists. Maybe flex through your feet. And then release. Windshield wipe your knees. Again, just bending those knees, rock from side to side. Good job turning on that core. And hug onto the backs of our legs, or just roll to one side. We'll just come all the way up to standing. So it might be fun to rock and roll until you come up to standing. You use your hands as much as you need to, and then come all the way up to standing. Okay, I want you to remember that engagement through your core. Okay, reach high, and exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg back into a lunge, and exhale, your left knee down. Feel like you're squeezing your heel and knee toward each other as you come into your low lunge. And just reach high. I'm going to take this left arm and just bring it forward. And then reach it up. Lead with your thumb. And then you can turn it open and bring it all the way back. And just find those shoulder rotations both ways with that left arm. As much as you can. Find any sticky spots, just kind of move through there. And then release both of your arms, and you can straighten through your front leg a little bit, but really think about pushing your inner thighs back and lengthening through your heart. Come back into your lunge with those flexed, or I guess it's extended, but extend through your wrists, reach your hands toward the ceiling, and then let your arms just swing back. If you need to pad this bottom knee, grab your blanket. We're just going to move through this here. So wrist extension, push the ceiling, and then soften that front knee. Really push your hips back. Wrist extension, push the ceiling, and then soften your knee. Let's do that one more time. Wrist extension, push the ceiling, and then lean back. Come into your low lunge. but set up for that tandem kneel. We're gonna line up our right foot with the left knee, your shin, your heel, and your toes are all in a line. And just see if you can find your balance here. Use your arms in a way that serves you. I tend to find this thinking of drawing everything toward center the most helpful. Just notice what little muscles are used to help you stay. You can stay here, or you could play with floating off that right foot and finding your balance. Maybe moving around a little. And then we'll just come into kneeling, both knees down, hands on the floor. Spread your shoulders blades apart. So shoulder blade protraction, and then draw your shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades apart and shoulder blades together. So I'm not moving my spine. I'm just moving through my shoulder blades. So move there through your shoulder blades. Just do that one more time. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart, and then you can push yourself back, hips towards heels for a child's pose. We're going to talk about the 3 options for lowering in our vinyasa sequence, or when we're going from standing to downward facing dog. So option number 1 is child's pose, just to push back into child's pose. And then inhale, just slide yourself forward onto your belly, loop your shoulders, draw your shoulder blades together, and lift into a cobra. And then we're just going to go back to our table. So that's option number 1. From table, option number 2, come into your plank. Okay, here you are in plank. Bring your knees to the floor. Let your elbows go wide. Bring your chest down between your hands and your chin to the floor, so your bum kind of stays high. Then loop your shoulders back, draw your elbows in, pull your heart forward into cobra. And then come back into your table. So that's option number 2, knees, chest, chin. Tuck your toes, come into plank. You can do option number 1, which is child's pose. You can do option number 2, which is knees, chest, chin, let your elbows go wide. Or we'll do our chaturanga. We're doing this on the floor. Rock onto your tippy toes. Let yourself be broad through your collarbones, but really find that connection of your lowest ribs to the top of your pelvis. You can do this with your knees down too. Draw your elbows in and then lower just halfway so your shoulders don't come any lower than your elbows. And draw your shoulder blades together, reach your heart forward. And now we'll move back into downward facing dog. And just stretch through your arms, check in with yourself here. And pedal through your feet. Enjoy your breath. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale yourself all the way to standing reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge. Exhale that right knee down and feel like you're squeezing your knee and your heel toward each other to come up. You can pad this back knee if you need to. Reach your arms high. And then we'll just find those shoulder rotations with the right arm. So just start with your hand by your hip. Lead with your thumb to reach up. And then try to keep your rib cage forward as you rotate through that shoulder and go back. And then you'll lead with your thumb so you can't anymore, and then lead with your pinky. Just go through those. Just kind of pay attention to any sticky spots and be friendly there. And see if moving there a couple of times can kind of start to help free it up. Last time. And then we're going to take our hands, extend through your wrists, push the ceiling away. And then soften through that front knee. And you can just let your arms relax as you find a little bow. Inhale, push the ceiling away with those extended wrists. And then push and fold. Push, really flex through your wrists. And fold. Last time, just push. Really send your hips back. Think of pushing your inner thighs back. And then come up into your balance. So untuck those back toes. You're going to toe heel that left heel. In line with your right knee. And you can just pause there. Maybe hugging everything towards center if you want to use your arms on your tightrope. Stay here, or you can play with floating your left foot up off the floor and just finding your balance. And then come to kneeling and hands and knees. Okay, so just do a couple rounds of those scapular push-ups where you're pulling your shoulder blades apart and drawing your shoulder blades together. And really think of this action all coming from here, like all this armpit strength. And then we'll add a little practice, chaturanga. So lowest ribs stay in. Rock your heart forward and then exhale. Maybe you just bend an inch and then come back. Okay. We're just gonna rock back and forth. Rock forward, bend through your elbows. And your shoulders aren't gonna come any lower than your elbows. Rock forward and over. Let yourself feel broad through your collarbones. And we've got this protraction through your shoulder blades as you're up. Okay, and they stay pretty protracted even as you lower down. But we've turned on all this strength here. Let's push back into child's pose. This is option number one for lowering down. Inhale, slide forward. And then just find your back bend. Loop your shoulders back, drawing your shoulder blades together, lift your heart. And then just exhale back into table. Knees, chest between your hands, chins to the floor, bum high. Loop your shoulders back, and then reach your heart forward into a cobra, Bhujangasana. And then back to your table. This time you can do either knees, chest, chin, child's pose. You can come on into your plank. Find your plank first, even if you're going to put your knees down. So you've got that length from your pelvis up through the crown of your head. And then rock your heart forward, come onto your tippy toes, elbows in, lower part way. Move your shoulders back, open your heart. Maybe push into your feet, lift your legs off the floor. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Spread through your hands. And then wrap those outer armpits in toward the center. Push into your index finger knuckle. And then see if you can lengthen out through your sitting bones. So just think of length through your whole rib cage. Keeping those lowest ribs softened in. Kind of bend in your knees. And then lengthen even more through your upper body. So keeping that strength and stability through your shoulders by drawing your outer armpits in. And then push your inner thighs back. Maybe drop your heels toward the floor. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back with your left foot and we'll set up for warrior one. So you'll ground through your left heel and keep yourself pointed toward the short edge of your mat. Inhale and reach high. Push into that left heel and then bend into your right knee. Draw your outer right hip back a little bit and then lift up through your lower belly. Soften those lower ribs in. Push your thumbs back to open your heart. And just pause here. Engage through that left glute as you open through that left side body. Push into your left heel. Drop your low ribs down. Reach up through your arms. Take a breath in and then exhale. You can bring your hands to your lower back or interlace fingers. Keep your elbows bent first and then draw your elbows toward each other. Push into that back heel, maybe bring your arms towards straight. Open your heart here. And then exhale into your humble warrior. You can rest on that right thigh or bring your right shoulder down inside that right knee. Draw your right outer hip toward the midline. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Take one more breath here. And then release your hands. Bring the left hand to the floor. Okay, so kind of in line with your right toes. And then bend your left knee, bring your left knee to the floor. You'll kind of pivot on this left knee and then lengthen your right leg out. So you're in a modified side plank here with your left knee down. Reach your right arm up. And then flex through that right foot and just lift your foot up. Find your balance here. Draw your shoulder blades together. Soften your front low ribs in. And then lift and lower a couple times. And then let that foot come down. Right arm alongside your ear, big side stretch. Rotate your heart toward the ceiling any amount. And then hands down. Child's pose, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And then inhale, Bhujangasana, which is cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy your breath here. And then inhale into your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your warrior one. So ground through that heel, and you can even move your left foot to the left to help your balance. And then come on up. Reach your arms high. Push back through that right heel. Bend into your left knee. And then draw your left outer hip back. Just right from that hip crease. Find support through your lower belly. Soften those front low ribs in and push your thumbs back. Let yourself feel broad through your collarbones. Breathe here. Find those actions again, pushing back through your right heel. Feel really stable through that left foot. Draw your left outer hip back. Lift up on your lower belly. No ribs in as you reach those thumbs back. Take one more breath. And then exhale. Hands can just come to your lower back. Or you can interlace your fingers so you can do the unusual way. Elbows toward each other. And then maybe straighten. Open through your heart here. And then let yourself fold. You can rest on that left thigh or bring your left shoulder down. Inside your knee. Drawing that left outer hip toward the midline. Let your head hang heavy. And just breathe. Feel the strength through your back body as you draw your shoulder blades together, the opening through the fronts of your shoulders and your chest. Even if your hands are just at your lower back, you can draw your elbows toward each other. And then bring your right hand to the floor, kind of in line with those left toes under your shoulder. Right knee to the floor, pivot on that knee, left leg out to your modified side plank. You just kind of open here, and then flex through that left foot, lift it, and pause. So feel that strength through your whole side body, your outer hip. Inner foot's parallel with the floor. And then lift and lower a few times. Lift and lower. And then go ahead, let that foot come down. Find a big side bend. Maybe even look up at the ceiling. Rotate your heart toward the ceiling. Exhale, left hand down. Move through either child's pose, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide. And feel stable through your shoulders. And just find support by letting those low ribs in soften down and in, but not rigidity through your belly. Connect with your breath. And from here, we'll move into warrior two. So bring your weight into your left foot and just inhale, reach your right leg up and back. And then we'll step our right foot between our hands. You can come onto those left tippy toes. Really bring your knee up toward your nose and then step it forward. I always have to come onto my fingertips on that right side. Rotate that left heel down. Open yourself up into your warrior two. And just pause here. So heel to arch alignment. Bend into that right knee. Think of your femur bones moving toward the back plane of your body. You got support through the center. And from your core, you root down into the ground. And from your core, you lift up through the roof of your mouth and out through your strong arms. Inhale to reverse your warrior. And then exhale into side angle pose. So right forearm on right thigh. Left arm alongside your ear. This is bus stop number one. Play with that shoulder opening. Just bring the back of that left hand to your left lower back. And then lean back through this left shoulder. That's bus stop number two. Maybe bring your right hand down. but really keep some energetic resistance of your arm into your leg into your arm. Maybe hand to the floor. Maybe that back arm kind of reaches towards your inner thigh. And stay here. Or you can play with snuggling that right arm underneath and reaching for your left hand. Stay strong through your legs. So you just find the place that feels good for your side angle pose. Maybe lean back. And as you're ready, unwind yourself. We're going to move into half moon pose. So bring your right fingertips kitty corner from your right pinky toe. And if you want a block or something to bring your hand to, that's always helpful. Then you'll slide your left leg in, lift it up. So that left inner foot's parallel with the floor. You're gonna open your heart to the side. Maybe left hand comes to your hip. Maybe it reaches up. And then from here, we're just gonna float back to our warrior two. So bend into that right knee. Float your left leg back. Take a big breath in. You can reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Inhale through your plank. Exhale, your option for lowering. Child's pose, knees, chest, chin, and chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can bring your feet a little closer together. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. And then exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. You'll come onto those right tippy toes, maybe onto your left fingertips even. Step your left foot forward, ground through your heel. Come up to your warrior two. And just pause here. Radiating from that core down. Switch sides so I'm facing you. And from your core, up and out. Lift through your arches. Feel equal weight on that triad of your big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, center of your heel. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, left forearm to thigh, right arm alongside your ear. Push into that right heel as you lengthen through your right fingertips. And then just find that shoulder stretch here. Reach your right arm up, bend your elbow, internally rotate that shoulder and bring your hand to your lower back. And stay here, maybe look up, you can lean back a little bit. Maybe sneak that left hand down. You could hold inner ankle. If you've got a block, use your block. Maybe you snuggle that right arm behind you a little more. Maybe fingers come to the floor. If you tried on the first side, you can experiment with that bind here. Snuggling your left arm under, reaching for your hands. But then lean your head back, let your heart beat and throat be open. Feel strong through your legs. And then unwind yourself, and we'll move into our half moon on this side. So you can have your block, kitty corner from that left foot, or just find your fingertips to the floor. Lean into that left foot. Slide your right leg in and then lift it. And let your left hand be under your shoulder. So not too close to your foot. That'll make it tricky. Inner edge of your foot's parallel, of your right foot's parallel with the floor. Bring your hand to your hip. Maybe reach. Open through your heart. And then bend into that left knee. Float yourself back into your warrior two. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Inhale to your plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin. Child's pose, chaturanga. Take your option for lowering down. Inhale, slide forward onto your belly. Bring your hands alongside your hips. Lift your shoulders up and back. Push into your pubic bone. And inhale, lift everything up. Just reach your hands back. You can interlace hands. Just hold here for a few breaths. And then release just briefly. And then inhale, come back up into your back bend. Maybe interlace the other way. Maybe bend both knees and reach back for outer feet. And kick your feet into your hands. And then release. Make a pillow for your forehead with your hands. And just collect your breath here. Feel your heartbeat. You kind of wiggle your hips from side to side to settle your low back. And see if you can smooth out your breath. And think about breathing 360 degrees around your rib cage. So expanding those lowest ribs out to the sides and up toward the ceiling. Inhale, lift your head and look forward. Just walk your hands back. Push yourself up onto your hands and knees. Cross your ankles and back. And then just make your way onto your back. With bent knees, you can roll yourself down. And then lengthen your right leg up toward the ceiling. Hold on to the back of your thigh, back of your calf, your ankle, maybe your right fingers to your right big toe or outer foot. Just make sure that wherever you're at, you can feel all the natural curves of your spine. You can keep a little space under your lower back and lengthen your left leg on the floor. Feel free. Just let yourself stretch here. You can find that open leg. Just turn your right toes slightly to the right. Stretch through your inner thigh. Wherever you're holding this leg, even by your knee, just support your leg. You have your elbow on the floor. And then come back up, bend your knees, your left hand to steer it over to the left into a twist. Look to your right. And come back to center and just switch sides. Right foot to the floor, left leg up. And release your hands behind your thigh, calf, ankle. Reach for your foot. Wherever you can, lengthen that leg, feel a nice stretch, and keep the natural curves of your spine. And if you can keep a little space under your lower back and lengthen your right leg, feel free to do that. Just honor the architecture of your body. And after a few breaths with the straight leg, you can slightly turn that left toes to the left and open your left leg out. Bend your knee if you're really feeling this in your knee. Come back through center. Bend your knee, use your right hand to steer that left knee over to your right. And then look to your left. And then back up to center. Find something symmetrical, maybe both knees into your chest, maybe feet in happy baby. Resist your hands into your feet into your hands. And then find your final rest. Legs long, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. You can scoot and put your legs on the couch or up the wall. Let your palms face up, get all your wiggles out. And you can really just like shake your whole body and then completely relax, release. And see if you can check in with that word that you found at the beginning of your practice. Whatever that was for you, and just let that be the mantra of your settling. Just aware of the aliveness coursing through your whole body. Feel free to stay here for as long as you have time. Push myself up. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, friends. I love this opportunity to move with you so regularly. I love it. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Have a great day.